Okay, for those of you interested in doing the swap, like I mentioned, you'll need the brake hose. There's 2 copper washers that go on either side of this banjo fitting over here that's leaking. So you have these copper washers. There's one on either side of that bolt. You need a hose, the 2 washers, your brake caliper, the rotors. You're going to need new pads, and you're going to need this pin kit and the clip that holds it in. And that's basically it. There's not much to it. A few basic parts for those of you who are interested in following along and doing the same upgrade. So let's go ahead and get these put on the car. Alright. Now the beauty of this mod really is GM's already done the work for us. They've already engineered the system on the HHRs and that. So they've already designed this to go right on, direct bolt on. Now, for those of you that haven't really messed with these brakes, the Brembos are, like probably most calipers, very side specific. Basically, the way these things have to be bolted on, these bleeder valves here, have to be to the top. But other than that, the bracket that I took off in the other video is pretty much built into here into this caliper. So this is about as easy as it gets. I'm just going to slide this on in here. Go ahead and get these bolts tightened. Alright, so the factory manual calls for these bolts that we're installing here, there and there, to be tightened to 95 foot-pounds. So I would highly recommend using a torque wrench to get these right. I mean, you're dealing with aluminum. What I like to do is just do this a little bit at a time. When they get to this tight, to kind of evenly distribute the weight. That's a lot of torque that we're putting on here. There we go. We hear the click. We're good. There we go. Now the next step would be to install this brake line. So for this, I'm going to go ahead and, this is actually a little bit easier to do if you straighten your caliper out. And that's it. Factory specs on that bolt is 33 foot-pounds. You definitely want to make sure that if you're dealing with stuff like this with the brakes, that you do definitely pay close attention to what the manufacturer recommends for tightness. This is nothing to play with. These are your brakes. Severe safety items here, so it's worth the investment in a good torque wrench. Make sure that you got the job done right. Because it's amazing, you know, it's like that felt pretty tight right there. And then you find out that no, it really wasn't as tight as you thought. And I kind of went a little bit too far, so I'm going to back it off and redo this. I got a little too happy pushing. There we go. Now what I'm going to do is give this a quick wash and some brake fluid. because I don't want to eat the paint off these nice brand new calipers. This brake fluid will definitely do that. Now this gray stuff you see on the rotor, no big deal. It's just a covering they put on there to keep them from rusting while they're shipping or in storage. So now we're going to take our little Brembo parts here and go ahead and install these pads. I'll show you how to do that. What you need here is a hammer. What I found handy over here is something like this, a nice bolt. So, what you probably notice here is that these things have arrows, and that's basically for the direction of the rotor as you're going forward. So the rotor's going to be spinning this way. What you also look for here is, you can see the pad is a little tapered like that. So we're going to go ahead and just slide this in like so. Now I've learned a lesson from doing this yesterday, so I'll help you guys out too. There's also these little shields that have to go in. You can see they have the same arrows. Now it comes with this grease that we're gonna put on here. Go ahead and smear it. And what this is going to do is help keep the pads from squealing while you're braking. And another thing to have handy is definitely keep you a little shop rag. And I really hope this little cart I sit on doesn't make too much noise in the video. So now same thing, it's got the arrow, it's going to go down. And I just found it's easier yesterday to go ahead and add this after. And then what I'm going to do is go ahead and take these pins for the time being, and I'm just going to set these through here, kind of hold that pad in place. Now same thing, we got our arrow, wheel's going to be turning this way. Now I'm just going to go ahead and kind of use those pins right there to make sure they're close to where they need to be. Then we're just going to double check. You can see this is kind of bent, these tabs. That's going to go over your brake, the metal right here too. So then we're going to put some more on here. I'm going to smear that all around. Now I've never put Brembo pads on before, so hopefully this is adequate. Like I said, we're going to slide this in here. See if I can't show you. What we're trying to do is right here in between the pad and the pistons, and we're going to get it down here. So I'm going to use these pins to try to help guide it in. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to take this bottom pin out, and I'm going to leave this top pin kind of like that. Now here's where your bracket comes into play. And what you want it is like this, with these little things pointing down and these clips pushed up. Now the best way to do this is to go ahead and drive your top pin in. which is where I found something like this works good, so you don't bang up your rotor. Very important you get that pushed all the way in. You see here's a compliance bushing that's out, and what happens is that keeps the pressure, and that's what keeps these pins from walking out. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and put that in like that. And what we need to do is push down a pretty good bit on that one so we can work this bottom pin. And let's see, that little piece moved on me. And ta-da! So lesson learned from doing that yesterday. Picked up some tips for myself that I can pass to you. So there we go. We'll make sure that this isn't going to interfere with the rotor. Our brake line's on, it's torqued. Our 2 bolts right here going to the spindle is on and torqued. Our pads are in, our pins are in and locked. Congratulations, now you have some beautiful Brembo brakes. The only thing left now is to bleed. And with these brakes, what you're going to want to do is bleed this inside half first. So bleed this when it's all good to go. Then come over and bleed this half. And you got some beautiful brakes. So I've seen a lot of things on the forums, people asking what exactly was involved in doing this. And I haven't seen any videos. So any of you are like me that were interested in doing the upgrade, hopefully this video will help you out, or those of you that maybe don't even know about this now know, and maybe you'll pursue to do the same thing.
These
anyways,
are considerably larger than the originals, and these brakes do take up a lot more real estate, so you cannot fit these behind the factory 16-inch wheels. You're going to need at least an 18, like what came on the SS, which for me, I've had 18s on my car for a while, and I've already checked my clearances, and they will clear the caliper, so I am good to go. But there's one thing you need to consider too, if you're going to do something like this. You do need the wheel space to clear it. But anyways, like, shares, comments, always appreciated. Please subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. And we got more videos coming up. Thank you for watching.